make the strings.
What's up, guys? We're back at the shop today, and I don't know. I picked up this thing right here. This is a DCFM, diesel conditioning fuel module, or diesel fuel conditioning module, or something like that. And that is for this thing. As you guys heard in basically my last video, with it like randomly just stopped. Like it just backed out of the shop and it stopped running after I plugged in a sensor, which is really, really weird. I don't know. I don't know why it would stop doing that. And I think maybe that's why it never even started in the first place. I mean, you can see right here, this is that fuel volume regulator guy. And what's really, really weird with that is on this truck, when I have that plugged in, as soon as I turn the key on, it'll go with the fuel pump, and that's it. Just like for 1 second, it'll go. But as soon as I unplug that, I could get like 3 or 4 cycles of the key where I'll just turn it on and it'll go and like do its crazy like random crap. But I don't know. I guess I'll show you. I'll show you that. Get these batteries hooked up again. I was leaving them disconnected, and it you know, I'll throw a little charger on it too because it's not actually doing anything great right now. This guy too. Oh, you know, the one thing I forgot was there's these damn weird fuses up here too. That's like, I don't know. This thing's being weird. So I think it might be plugged in right now, but let's see. Listen to this fuel pump. So that is that thing. That is that thing, making all that noise. So I don't know what's up with it. I'm gonna pull it off because I did do a fuel filter in this guy, and but yeah, it'll just crank and it won't start. And I mean, that's pretty much all there is to it. So I guess I don't know. Supposedly these things go bad. This thing was expensive, so it was like $340 some. I got a discount on it, but like the regular like list on it was like $599 for that. But I mean, that is the fuel pump and the, you know, water air separator and all that crap. This guy over there. Come on. Yeah, so this is that expensive guy right there. And so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I guess I'm just gonna replace it. I don't know. I mean, it wouldn't be bad to have a new one in there anyhow. Who knows if this one's new or used or ancient or not? But hopefully this damn heater kicks on. Here in Colorado, it was like 5 degrees last night. It was super cold, and me and Jamie and the baby all got sick. So I haven't been down at the shop for a couple days. We got like the stomach thing. You know, where it like makes you pee out your butt and throw up and all that. So I'm feeling a little bit better. Jamie's still at home, and the baby's with the grandparents. And the baby had it first, and she's feeling a lot better. But we're trying to keep her away from us. But I just want this damn truck to run. So this is that. There it is. Hopefully you guys could kind of see this in here. Okay, I guess that's a good example. But so I guess you could mess up the O-rings in here too. I'm gonna go ahead and drain this fuel out of here. I guess you could mess up the O-ring on this guy, and maybe that could cause issues with it. So I'm gonna check that before I just go throwing that fuel pump in. But I basically bought that just because I really, really wanted to make sure that I kind of try to get this guy going tonight. Okay, so that looks alright. I mean, all these O-rings right here look okay. The other thing I'm going to check for when I'm here is this O-ring that goes around the deal. So I guess if that tears, it'll kind of let air in it and let it do a bunch of crazy stuff. So I'll go ahead and pull this off. Oh, look at that. That might explain that. Look at that. See that chip right there? Maybe I did that, or maybe... I mean, I know I got down under here and I tightened it again, and it made a click, but that was after it still wouldn't start. So maybe that has something to do with it. Well, I might as well just replace it. Sorry I went off camera for a bit, but yeah, I got it all replaced. Basically, there's the 4 lines on the top, the 2 yellows and 2 blues, the power connector, the water air, or the water and fuel sensor, and then basically to get it out of here, you see this metal cage all the way around it. On the back of the frame here, there's these 4 13mm bolts, and then also there's, see, like right there, there's a little, 2 little like 7mm nuts on the back that like kind of tie it into, so you can't just pop it out of this frame in the actual like on there. You can't pull it out of the cage in the truck. You have to pull off these 4 bolts, and then this whole cage comes out, and then you can do it outside of the vehicle. So I guess let's turn the key on, see what this guy sounds like. It's sucking. You can hear it. I don't know if it's got any fuel yet. Huh. Yeah, it hasn't got any fuel yet. Odd. As you guys can see, she's running. If you want to know what the issue was, you can't find it. There's a fuse. One of these little fuses right here in the back. The very, very, very back one. The very, very back red one was the issue. So I guess what happened is when I was going to plug in that little thing, you know, obviously it was, you know, I had the key on or whatever, and it shorted it, and so it was basically just this little sensor right here. It shorted out the thing, so I went ahead and I got it. I plugged in a new sensor and it fired right up. So I guess that's what happened. So I'm gonna take it for a quick little test drive. Been kind of messing with the tuning a little bit on, not the tuning, but it seems like it's doing some really weird stuff with like the throttle position. It doesn't want to like rev up very fast. So I don't know, I already tried taking it for a little test drive, and it didn't seem like it wanted to like rev very good, but the exhaust sounds good. Yeah, let's see what she's got. So I don't know what happened. I hear kind of rattling in the engine. It has like no power at all. We're basically just like cruising at like 15 miles an hour. Uh-oh. I don't know what the hell's going on. Shit. I don't understand this. 2 seconds ago it sounded like shit and sounded like it was gonna blow up. Now it's revving just fine. You see it's making boost. I have no clue. It had a check engine light for like mass airflow sensor, like volume was weird or something like that. Very odd. So look at this. So that's diesel fuel. That explains a lot. You can see it peeing out from underneath the truck up here. I'm assuming it's coming from back to the Ford dealer we go. So we're actually away from the Ford dealer we came. So you can see this is the injector. This is actually out of the old motor. I was using this as a core, but turns out the injectors for the 2015 are different. 15 to 17, they're a different part number, and they had she was giving me the wrong part number for the one. She was giving me the 11 to 14 part number. So anyhow, I ordered an injector because that injector is kind of weird, and I don't know, just I cannot get that like thing to connect and actually connect onto itself, and it's just leaking fuel. I kind of ghetto rigged it for a little bit, and it's just, I mean, it's definitely not safe. I'm not gonna trust that truck, like driving it like anywhere, or you know, if I do decide to sell it, you know, it's just not the right thing to kind of put a patch on it. So I'm gonna go ahead, or I went ahead and I ordered the new updated harness, not the harness, the fuel tube. It's like the fuel injector, like return line tube with all those little plastic quick connect things on it. But so I ordered a new one of those, as well as a brand new injector, because that one, like the, I don't know, I'll show you guys when I get back to the shop, but it's pretty much messed up. I guess so. It is tomorrow, and I got the stuff back from the Ford dealership. So as you can tell, I got this new, they call this a fuel tube, and this is like an updated one. It has a B in the part number, I guess. That means it's the number 2. And I also got the new injector, and they come with new fuel lines as well, with like the crush little things in them, because technically you're supposed to only use them once. Yeah, so this is the brand new injector, the expensive injector. If you guys want to know the quick difference between this and the other one, is this one has a gray tip on it, and the other one has a or the 11 to 14s have blue little guys on them right there, and these ones have grays. So yeah, I spent like 10 minutes last night like adjusting the hood, because it had like a really weird gap on it, and somebody like had the hinge, so it like, I don't know, it was being stupid, but I got all that figured out. But I don't know, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and throw this new thing on, and hopefully it doesn't take me too long. But yeah, it just kind of sucks, because when I show you that other injector, I'm gonna have to figure out exactly like why it was not coming out anyhow. But I'm gonna go ahead and write down this injector code, because I have not got the injectors programmed into this truck yet. So hopefully that goes smooth. But I mean, it seems like it runs smooth, but I'm sure it could run a lot better. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and write that code down and put it with the rest of them. And then once I get the truck like officially, you know, all together, and I know that I could, you know, it runs and drives and stuff, then I'll take it to the Ford dealer and then get it actually programmed for like the injector codes and stuff like that. So that's kind of the plan. The other thing is they have a like a remote start option on these trucks. You could buy, I think the kit is like $100 and some bucks, maybe it's like $200. But it gives you new like key fobs, and then like this little module you put under the dash. And then there's also a factory trailer brake control option that this truck did not have installed on it. And it like incorporates into the dash and everything. And so I'm gonna order one of those as well and install it. And those are all options that you kind of have to have like turned on at the dealership with the IDS. And I figure at the same time, I might as well go ahead and get the injectors programmed and do all that crap at once, and you know, obviously make sure that everything's good with the truck and that, you know, it runs and drives just fine. So here we go. All right, well, it is all new injector is in. You You can't really tell. There's a new line on it, and then you can see that whole new like fuel line. And that thing was an absolute pain to get in and out and like around all like the injector lines, especially in the truck. Almost even on the engine outside of the truck, it would be a pain. So you could see it's this line right here. So it goes down over there, around, connects on that, comes down around here, and then up through there. And it's just kind of a big pain. And there's also another line on here, as well as a different, not a harness, but there's like the whole return fuel rail line. So yeah, I guess I already fired it up to make sure that it didn't leak. So we should be good to go. This thing is still doing that weird thing where it like doesn't like rev up until it's like warm, which is really weird. So at first I thought it was like, I don't know. I don't know if it's like something in the tune, because like right now it's on like the street tune, which is like the plus 80 horse tune. Or maybe it's something with the injector codes not being programmed or something silly like that. But I'm gonna go ahead, fire it up, I guess let it warm up, and then I'll be able to actually take it for a real test drive where it won't seem like it's gonna like blow up on me. So I'm pretty excited about that. So I guess first real test drive with it, not you know, with the fuel leaking, with fuel not leaking or whatever. You can see the coolant temp. I can't see the coolant temp right there. There you go. Coolant temp, the ETC, 193. See, I'm at like 3 pounds of boost. And the weird thing is, it's not showing a throttle percentage. So I don't know if it has anything to do with that, why it like won't actually rev when it's cold. But I mean, it revs pretty good when it does. So yeah, I mean, this thing literally like did not go anywhere until it was like 159 point like some degrees. And as soon as it hit 159, it was like, all right, yep, here we go. Seems like the transmission's in like grandpa mode, but yeah, she rips. It's crazy that like just how like smooth and like quick this thing is, just how it is. Well, I mean, this is on just like the street tune, but I mean, these 6.7s, they definitely got a ton of power. It's just crazy to watch like the speedometer like just go up so fast. So I'm gonna do some little exhaust clips, just kind of some light throttle, like acceleration, pulling away from you guys. So we'll see what she sounds like, I guess. So yeah, that's how she is. I don't know, from the inside of the cab, I mean, it's not really like super loud or anything. It's pretty quiet most of the time. So we'll do kind of like a little 0 to 60 or 80 or whatever it is. I'm not gonna do like a boosted launch or anything. I'm just basically gonna take off. So here we go. See the traction control kicked on right there because it was kind of spinning the tire, and that wasn't a boosted launch. As you can tell, like at first it also really didn't have very much like on the low end. It like didn't really like pull very hard, you know, basically until it got like past 10 pounds of boost or so. But I don't know, I'm enjoying driving it. Definitely a lot of fun to drive. The tranny is kind of still in its like learning process right now, or I'm assuming that, because it kind of shifts. I feel like it shifts too soon a lot of times, but that's probably just because Ford has it programmed to like tell it to get the best mileage. So it was getting like 17, and then I just started doing this, and I just recently reset it too. But I don't know. I'm just kind of cruising around trying to put a couple miles on it, and you know, kind of make sure everything's good. So still trips me out how quiet these trucks are. I mean, literally, if I was, I'm gonna set this. You're pretty much sitting on the, like the roof, or not the roof, the hood of the truck, and you'd hear probably everything that I say, and it's just crazy how quiet these things are. All right, guys, so that is pretty much the end of the test drive, and you know, as much as I'm gonna drive it in this video, I'm sure you guys are gonna see plenty of that in the future. You know, Big Dirty's not going anywhere anytime soon. This thing isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Like I said, the plan is to probably drive this thing for a couple months, see exactly what I think of the whole 6.7 situation, and you know, from there I might either keep this one or maybe try to find another, like a Lariat at the auction, and go from there. So that's kind of the plans for now. Everything's kind of up in the air. You know, I mean, I might change my mind tomorrow, but I want to go ahead and explain a little bit of exactly. So it seems like a lot of people are interested in the whole like 11 to 15 conversion and like the differences and everything. I guess there's a ton of differences between the motors. The heads are different, the turbo's different, the injectors are different, the high pressure fuel system, turbo obviously is those, I guess, are all the main things. As far as the bottom end of them, I'm pretty sure they're the same. But I do know that you know, from the factory, the 15, 16s, 17s all make a lot more power. Not a whole lot more, but they make more power than the 11 to 14s. And they also, you know, as far as aftermarket tuning capabilities, like on the highest tune setting, like the race setting from like the same tuner, on an 11 to 14, I think you could get like 130 horse out of them, like max, like over stock or whatever. And then on the 15 to 16, it says you could get an additional like 200 horse over stock, and that's on top of the already, like, you know, 30 or 40 horsepower that it makes more, because I think these ones make like 400 and like 440 foot-pounds, no, 860 or 940, I don't know, something like that foot-pounds. I'll put it on the screen. Yeah, so basically I did the 2015 engine with the 2011 engine harness and the 2011 like fuel rail with the two sensors on it. I did the custom tuning from Tyrant Diesel, but I purchased all the stuff from No Limit Diesel, and they got me in connection with them to get like the correct tuning. And I purchased the No Limit Diesel Egr Delete, the intake, the upgraded intercooler thing, or the upgraded intercooler pipe, because the factory plastic one breaks. What else? Those aren't necessary things, but I feel like, you know, with the whole like custom tuning for the 15 turbo and fuel system, that's why I had to have the custom tuning, because the turbo reacts a little bit differently, because there's like the, you know, a dual vane versus the single vane. So you have to kind of, I guess, tune the turbo a little bit different, as well as I'm assuming that 15 high pressure fuel system is a lot better, so it has a lot more volume and the injectors are bigger, you know, something along those lines. But yeah, so the custom tuning, the Egr Delete, the full 5-inch exhaust, the intake, the upgraded intercooler thing, and then what else I have to do? I had to have the 15 and 16 downpipe, and I actually had to order a like an MBRP, like aftermarket one, just because, you know, the one locally, you know, at the Ford dealership, I don't know, I could have just waited and got that one. It would have been $100. The MBRP one was stainless and is like 200 and some bucks. You know, but I just got impatient one night, and I was just upset because I you know, I was basically waiting. The guy who I got the engine from was supposed to have a downpipe, said he had a downpipe. It was going to mail it to me. I was going to be there on Monday, and then all of a sudden on like Tuesday, it was like not there. Wednesday, like still couldn't find it, and I was like, no, you know what, screw this thing. I'm just gonna order it, and you know, ordered it with fast shipping and got it here in time. But yeah, so I guess that's it, you know, for the ramble on this truck. This this little fuse was all that was keeping it from running when I basically plugged in that sensor and shorted it out, which I've already told you that. And you know, the injector, that was kind of a situation in itself, just because of how this thing, like, kind of, you can see, let's see, wait for it to focus. You can see right there how it's like actually like broken off. And I'm assuming, you know, obviously I didn't do that because this thing wasn't plugged in, and I figured out why this whole little harness thing would not plug in, and it's because the O-ring on the top was swelled up. So yeah, that's, I mean, I don't know if I actually would have 100% had to replace the injector, but you know, it's just one of those things with it kind of being cracked like that. You know, I definitely don't want to be like towing over a mountain pass, you know, or, you know, sell this thing to somebody, and then all of a sudden, you know, somebody's towing and, you know, it just squirts fuel all over the engine bay. That's just like a recipe for disaster. Also, that harness, or that little fuel tube harness or whatever, that thing, it was like the older version, because I believe it was off a 2011 motor, and they put it on this one. It was kind of just crummy looking, and you know, obviously the little clip that held that thing on there was broken. So I tried to kind of ghetto rig it and make it work, and I was able to do a little test drive with it. But you know, at the end of the day, I wanted basically 100% OEM setup that I could trust, and that, you know, that somebody else could trust as well. So yeah, that's I think that's about it. I'm gonna figure out, you know, if these wheels, tires are staying, tint windows, I don't know. I'll go into a whole nother video about that. But this has definitely been a long one. And sorry that I wasn't a video for a couple days. I was trying to figure this thing out and you know, do some other things, and it just wasn't time. But appreciate you guys watching. I'm gonna get working on this thing, or try to figure out what's going on with this thing. I don't know exactly what that is. And then also this guy, 2018. I said January I'm gonna start working on it again. So give me a couple days, clean up the shop a little bit, get some random crap out of here. We cleaned off that shelf right there, and then took out the little pole thing, put it up there, and then put more wheels and tires and random crap in all these stupid boxes, and, you know, messed up grills and random crap that I just don't need. Get it off the shelf. You know, obviously always trying to clean up the shop. But again, appreciate you guys watching, and I'll catch you in a couple days.